Greetings, Activz. Welcome to the August Founders Call. I'm joined here with David Brown, our CEO. I hope you're all doing well and having a fantastic August. We had a real incredible July in a time that during a seasonality that's typically very, very difficult for many companies, most companies, especially direct selling companies. And, you know, David, we had not one of the best month in our history. I mean, we really hit it out of the park. And by we, I mean our distributors, our employees, and as a company, we really have a lot to celebrate right now. And we are now in the middle of August and things are cranking. So I know that you and I spent some time. I flew to Utah and we broadcasted live from the ABC studios early in the month. And that was a lot of fun. What are some of the things, David, that stand out to you for the month of July? What were some of your favorite moments that you want to share with everybody?
Well, you know, we often think of these. Oh, by the way, hello, Ryan, El Presidente. Good to be here with you. I think, you know, we often think about the summer months, especially as the heat gets in and the dog days of summer. But these are not the dog days of summer. These are the go-go days of summer. I mean, people are rocking and rolling. And it was interesting. We're obviously doing everything in very different ways. I think best illustrated by our first ever global virtual event. It was awesome. I'm not sure I'm familiar with all of the numbers, but at one point I know that we had like 6,000 views. And we had people that were participating by watching remotely from all parts of Mexico, all parts of the United States, all parts of Peru. We had people from Bolivia, Colombia, Japan, Australia, and I'm not even sure everywhere else, but a lot of different places. And that's just really exciting. That probably really struck me as one of the really important things, really historically, that we did in July. And then, of course, we had our high water mark, the highest revenue amount we've ever done in the company's history, a tremendous increase over the previous month, which was the high water mark in the company's history. And to think about doing that again during what are often described as the dog days of summer, and unless you're a company that focuses on summer, like barbecue or swimming, apparel or something like that, almost every company in every sector suffers during the summer months. But we're not only surviving, we're thriving, and that is in really not large part. It's entirely due to people deciding that they're not just going to sit back. They're not going to just wait out this pandemic. They're going to take action and they're going to change their lives and introduce people to ways that they can change their lives too. It's just awesome. Right.
Yeah, and the virtual event that we had, that was the first time we've ever done that. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's available. You can watch it through the virtual office. It was a lot of fun. David, one of your longtime friends and member of our board, is the general manager there, and facilitated that whole experience for us. And we were able to go into the ABC studios, the Salt Lake affiliate, and do that live broadcast. And it was really neat to be, I felt like I was on Mars. I was very uncomfortable there, having 4 or 5 cameras sitting in my face. But I think we pulled it off. And we launched some exciting things. For those of you who may have missed it, you've been under a rock for this last month. We launched the Activz Global Connect program, which now allows us to do business in upwards of 220 countries and territories around the world for personal use only. So that was an exciting announcement. I'm still, we're still enjoying some of the afterglow of that announcement. A lot of people from other countries, we're shipping product to Argentina now, to Bolivia, in ways that we weren't before. We've had teams and groups of people in Colombia kind of beating our doors down. And so lately, this month, we've been shipping a lot of product down there through the Activz Global Connect program, which we announced, which that was fun. That was a great announcement. It was a fun announcement. I really want to acknowledge and take my hat off to Angie Hawthorne and our operations team, who really put that together behind the scenes and teed that up for us to be able to announce that at the event. Excuse me. The other teaser that we shared with everybody, if you recall, it seems like it was many months ago, but it was just last month. was the new product that we're getting ready to come out with that addresses nutrition, energy, and weight management. And so be on the lookout for that. All of you who may have missed our subtle, not so subtle announcement at our virtual event, but that's going to be coming here in the next few months, and we think that you're going to love it. People that are trying it and sampling it love the flavor. I personally cannot wait to start drinking that beverage. I wish I had some right now with me, David. But July was really a great month. It was a really great month. I think that I can't go another sentence without saying that we had our first A16 in the history of Activz, right? Christina Godoy, who many, if not all of you, know who Christina is. She happened to be the first person that I spoke to about Activz in the very beginning, and it was the day that I returned from Utah, having met with David Brown, right, and having decided to come together and to each bring our respective gatherings of whether it was investors or interested parties, distributors, manufacturers, products together. And the very next day, I got on the horn with Christina, and she met me at a Chick-fil-A, and the rest was history. So I was very excited to see her hit the rank of A16 legend this last month, and we're all still celebrating for her. And so that was very exciting. I hope if you haven't reached out and congratulated her, you should do that. But really what that represents to me, David, is that yes, you can. And in Spanish, we say "sí se puede." "Sí se puede" is what everyone is saying right now, which is you can do it. You can do it, right? So she's kind of broke the barrier, broke the mold, and she's proven everybody that now it's their turn. And so now it really is all of your turn to do that. We can't wait for all of you to reach that rank of A16 legend where this really becomes, a life-changing experience in terms of the financial benefits as well as the wellness benefits. So those were the highlights for me, David. This month in August, we have some cool things happening as well. I'll mention one. You're talking about this time of year and the pandemic that we're still finding ourselves in. Here in my household, the Thompson household is probably exactly the same as everybody else's household that has kids, in that we don't know what's going on. Our heads are spinning. We're trying to figure out how are we going to educate our kids, and we're finding out, last minute that, okay, is it distance learning? No, your kids can come, and they can come half a day, but these are the conditions upon which they've got to go to school. So that's going to be starting here Monday for us. And, it's hard to go through even one day without thinking about, the state of things, the state of the nation, the state of the city, the state of the state, and what we're doing with school. I bring that up because in light of all of that, we have really, the distributors of Activz have really taken the bull by the horns. And I think that they've kind of agreed to not take this laying down. Right. And that happened early on, David, early on during the pandemic, where they started to really focus and dig in, and our numbers start to really go up and up and up and up. And just this last month, just a quick anecdote, in one of the hardest hit states in Mexico of the pandemic, which is Chiapas, we had some extraordinary things happen. This last month, I'll call her a pioneer, one of our pioneers or founders of that state. She now lives in the state of Tabasco, which is she's a short 2 hours away, but she really was instrumental in opening the state of Chiapas. And her team this last month grew, and they had brand new, lots of A6s, A7s. The people hit the rank of A8, A9. We had a couple A10s. This young lady who I'm talking about is named Lucy Sarah. Lucy hit the rank of A12. Her mother is working hard in Chiapas. Her brother Oscar Sarah, who's a local pastor at a church there, hit the rank of A9. So hello, Oscar, if you're watching this, and congratulations. And what Lucy really showed or proved with that example is that, you could look at a state or at a city and say, okay, this is a depressed economy. People down here don't have money. This is not a wealthy state, right? And for any of you who know Chiapas, this is a true statement. It's very country, right? It's not the most developed place in Mexico. and to be hit as hard as they were with the pandemic, anybody could easily say, you know what, I've got to go find greener pastures. I've got to go build elsewhere. What did they do? The people in Chiapas, in Tuxtla Gutierrez, which is the capital city, they doubled down. They doubled down. They understood that what they had in their hands was capable of improving people's wellness, right? And lives, right? Let's be honest. And I'm talking about our products. And so rather than shying away from people, in fact, in people that many of whom have lost their jobs, they doubled down. They shared with them the opportunity. They shared with them the benefits of the products. And they didn't just do it with one person. I think they're going to cover the entire state, David, here one of these days. The people in Chiapas are hard workers. They're committed. They lead with their hearts. You can identify with them. They're real people. They're not people who you look at and say, they've been given some advantage. They were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or they went to some, special Ivy League college, and that's why they're having so much success. That, they're having success because they have some advantage. We tend to do that with other people. I'm telling you right now, that ain't the case, and I know many of them and many of their leaders, and I'm really impressed. And what it shows me, David, is that with commitment, with not giving up, and with hard work, you can make miracles happen. And that's what they did. The month of July was a miracle, not just for Chiapas, but for many places in the Activz universe, but specifically in Chiapas. And so I want to take my hat off and congratulate everybody down there for just a job well done, and congratulate Lucy Sarah. She's one of many people who rank advanced to important ranks, but she's led every step of the way. And the month of July and during the pandemic, she's really stepped up and been an inspiring leader for people in a time when there's a lack of leadership. There's a lot of scared people that are followers. And so the people that are leaders are really showing themselves and are making themselves evident to me. So thank you, Lucy. David, what was one or two things that really inspired you this last month?
Well, excuse me, I think the same thing. Obviously, congratulations to Christina, and her experience is really a microcosm of the whole company and what we talk about being possible. In fact, I say that a lot, that the individual distributor experience is very much what we go through as a company. You mentioned the virtual event. People looking at that because would probably think, man, we're a much bigger company than people think that we are, because that professional set on the ABC station made us look very polished, and we were able to do that because we had friends in high places. And even though he is a very good friend, I was a little bit disappointed when Richard Jones, the general manager, said, "David, you guys were great, but you have a face made for radio." But that's another story. Anyway,
I don't think it's a true story, David.
But you think about that, and you think about, well, how does that relate to an individual distributor? Well, it relates to the fact that every single person who's part of this company has, quote, friends in high places, meaning that can make them look like they're part of something bigger than maybe people think that they are. And those are people like Dr. Maroon on our advisory board, Admiral Winter. Those are your friends in high places. Those are people that you can refer to as being part of this company that make us look a lot bigger than we are. And Christina's success and Lucy's success and others are really inspiring, because it's great to hear about the whole Sarah family being involved, and I've met Lucy's mom, and I'm not sure I've met Oscar yet, but I look forward to it. But Christina has had experience in other companies. She's had some degree of success in other companies, but nothing like she's experiencing now, and I'll tell you one thing about Christina: she's not done. She's going to keep moving forward and keep building, and she's going to. I know she's not going to rest on her laurels, because that's not the type of person that she is. But I think as we go forward, we think about, wow, well, what changed for her? Well, the opportunity is better, the timing was better, but also at some point, Christina had to decide, I'm not going to settle for what I may have settled for in the past. I'm going to do something. And I'm sure she's had doubts. I'm sure she's had moments of wondering whether I can do this or not. And in that case, she's just like all of the rest of us. And many of those people in Chiapas, many of those people in Phoenix, many people in Las Vegas or Chihuahua or wherever it happens to be, I think during this pandemic have just kind of like the famous saying, maybe it's not that famous, I ain't much, but I's all I got. And so you think about what are my resources? What can I look to? And really thinking, okay, maybe I haven't fully examined or accepted or realized the value of the Activz opportunity. I don't have a lot of other options out there. I'm going to give this the best shot, the best effort that I can. And they are. And they're probably surprising themselves that what we've been telling them all this time is really true. It's kind of like telling someone who's never exercised before and has been wondering if they can ever, run them. It's exactly like Dr. Maroon's story about running, with his friend that he told at the virtual event. He gets out there, runs one lap and about dies, right? And so he probably had a doubt in his mind as to whether he could ever make it. And now he's a 78-year-old guy, or 79, who participates in Ironman triathlons, for heaven's sakes. And it's just that ability to do so, that potential to do so, was not some all of a sudden given to him as this big, angelic event coming out of heaven and being bestowed upon him. No, he always had it. He always had the potential. And every single person who has succeeded, every single person who's done something and realized that, wow, I'm doing something I've never done before, nothing's changed except between their ears. The fact that they've realized and said, man, I can do this. And that's going to continue to spread. I had a very interesting discussion with one of our partners, one of our investors, who said, what are people saying now about Activz that they didn't say before? I said, well, interestingly, when we first started out, and this is also how we're a microcosm, I think people viewed us as just one more new network marketing, direct sales company out there, and they're probably not going to be different than anybody else. And then some people probably just forgot about us. They didn't know what we were doing one way or the other unless they were involved. And we had our doubters. Now, it's like one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite movies, and this is going to totally date me, but from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There's a famous scene where Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are being chased by a posse who is relentless and will not let them go. And even though they try all these tricks to hide from them and get away, they don't do it. And they pause occasionally to look back and say to themselves this line: who are those guys? And that's what I told this investor and partner of ours. I said, now people are looking at us and saying, whoa, who are those guys? And I said, and I love that. And I love the fact that people out there, distributors, are having the opportunity for their neighbors to say, whoa, look, Lucy Sarah, we remember when Lucy was doing this. Oh, Christina Godoy, remember that. And she's now got a new house. Like, who are these guys? What are they doing? We thought we knew them. We thought we understood what their potential and their abilities are. And they're totally proving us to have undersold them. And I just love that. That's inspiring. And I look forward to more and more stories happening. And everyone listening, I hope that they'll take note, and whatever they thought that their abilities were, double it, triple it, times it by 10 or 100, because I'm telling you, that's the real potential that lies within everybody.
Right. Absolutely. I agree, David. I think some of the last things that I want to say, just two more points for everybody watching this, not just about July, but now we're in August. And I want to share something with you. This is Christina. This was 2 days ago in her house. And I was joined with Claudina Brenneman and Claudia Valdez, who are two of her very best friends, who helped me, who aided me in delivering this check. I think we need to pause for a second, David, because we are also announcing and launching a new bonus for the A16s, right? It's a new A16 $100,000 check that we give, right? And I don't know if we're always going to show up with a large cardboard check, but we'll do something special. Maybe we'll drop in with a helicopter, or we'll send a squirrel to your door with a check. We'll do something special when you hit A16. But this is $100,000 paid out over the course of a year, right? And I had the awesome experience of being able to knock on her door. I made sure that her kids were there, right? And Claudina and Claudia and I were kind of hid out front. There's a video online you should watch if you haven't seen it yet. And we and we knocked on the door. She didn't know what we were doing, right? She thought that I was going to bring her flowers, which I also had, and maybe some chocolates is what she tells me. She did not expect this. So the look on her face was priceless. And I've never seen Christina speechless before. She always has something to say. First time I've ever seen her speechless. She stood there with her mouth open, and it took her a while to say something. And it was priceless. It was an incredible experience. And I just got to tell you, I know that we've already talked about her hitting A16 and how incredible that is, and what a great accomplishment that is for her and for the whole company. But I want people to think about this. I want you to visualize this. I want you to see yourself getting this check delivered, right? This is an additional bonus on top of everything that we already do for the A16s. It's paid over the course of a year. But visualize yourself getting this, right? What does your life look like, right? What is your, what are your kids going to be saying to you? What about your parents? And really visualize this, because the more you can visualize it, the more likely it is that it's going to happen, right? You got to put a plan in place and follow that plan, and don't give up. Don't quit till you get there. So officially, David, we are announcing this new bonus right now, $100,000 to A16 legends. Maybe down the road we'll come up with a different, more pithy branded name for it. But for now, that's what we're calling it. It is what it is. It's $100,000. It's a large cardboard check, and it's life-changing income for anybody that hits A16. So I just wanted to share that photo with everybody.
Love that photo.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's representative of so many things. Look, she had two of the people in her organization helping her carry the check. And those two, along with a lot of others, really helped her get to A16. And
Right.
so it really is representative of so many other things. And now Christina understands, as everyone else, as all leaders do, that you have lots of people helping you get to the top. And now you've been pushed, and now you have an opportunity to pool and help get them and others to the A16. And then that obligation, that pay it forward obligation continues on. And that's what I love about this industry. We are all tied together. You cannot succeed by yourself. It's impossible. And I think it's just a wonderful example of how this whole thing works. I think it's exciting. You're right. We'll have to come up with some type of cool branding thing, and maybe ask them. Do you remember the old $100,000 candy bar? We could ask them. I don't know if they still have those now. The $100,000.
$100,000. They do. I think they do. I enjoy one every Thursday, David.
Maybe we'll have to do like the old Monty Hall. Let's make a deal.
Right.
What's behind door number 1 or door number 2? And behind door number 1 is $100,000 candy bar, and number 2 is the check. No, we won't do that. Don't worry.
You can think about something like that. Yeah.
If you earn it, you'll earn it and get it, right? And whatever, however we say that. But it's inspiring to think of a trained television journalist like Christina Godoy being speechless. That doesn't happen very often for a woman who's a single mom raising 2 kids on her own. I'm sure that she appreciates it at many levels, but I'm also sure that she appreciates the friendship of those two, as well as countless others who helped get her there. And it really is a group effort. And so that was marvelous.
Right. Awesome. Well, David, I think that we wrap this up here. It's been great to talk about July and what's going on here in August. My closing thoughts will be this. Many of you know that I do what I call boot camps. Boot camp calls are team calls with different groups. We're one family, we're one Activz family, one team, but we're divided up into lots of groups in different cities, in different states, in different countries. And sometimes people need some additional help or assistance with training. And these are more about accountability and goal setting. And sharing best practices. So I enjoy doing these every day of every week, of each and every week. I'm on a boot camp call, at least one, if not more than one, with different teams. And I'll tell you, I want to share with everybody watching this a common denominator that I'm seeing that is materializing in growth and in success for the company. And something that a lot of people are doing, and I really picked this up from one specific team. Actually, it's multiple teams that are kind of doing this together. Veronica Cáceres, Noemi Garcia is involved, Susana Gutierrez, Pedro Palacios, all representing different teams in the company, and there's others as well, and their team members. They felt that they had kind of flatlined. This goes back, probably around when the quarantine kicked in, and a lot of people are feeling like, man, what's happening? We're not growing. The world's falling apart, on and on and on and on. They decided to go back to the basics, and they said, okay, as a team, as a group, a collective group of accountability partners, we've got to go back to the basics. 100 people in 30 days. That's what they came up with. And so this group started relatively small, maybe 15 or 20 people on the first call. They all agreed that they were going to go out and contact 100 more people each, right? And they're going to find more people to share the benefits of the products with and to share the benefits of the business with. And what happened is that 15 people grew and grew and grew. And this accountability group met for 15 minutes every single day at 7 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Mexico City time. And they motivated each other. They shared best practices, right? They showed each other that they had each other's back. And they did that every single day without failure, I think with the exception of maybe Sunday. And fast forward 4 months, everybody's rank advancing. We have a new A13 in that group, A12s, A11s, A10s, A9s. They're growing in a way that they have not ever grown before. So I just want to let you know that, we are experiencing some great growth, but it's not magic. It doesn't just happen because, we are some incredible, infallible company. No, none of that is true, right? We work hard. We believe that we have the best technologies, scientific technologies that are available anywhere. They come directly out of biotech. They're endorsed and formulated by the very best scientists. We also believe we have the very best advisory board made up of doctors, of retired, vice admirals in the United States Navy. I mean, we've got a real cast of qualified individuals that are foundational to Activz. But even that is not why we are growing and having so much success right now. It is the hard work at a very individual level of many, many people who aren't ready to quit and who aren't ready to give up. And what that has created is this culmination of like-minded people who are all pulling in the same direction. So I want to share that with all of you because there are best practices and there are best practices. And what I just shared with you is something that will get anyone's team moving again. If you are not having the success you want, go back to the basics, right? Go to the basics, right? And truthfully, there are millions of people, and you know that this is true, that want what we have. They need what we have, right? They need the anti-inflammatory benefits of our products. They need this cutting edge technology. They need their children to be using these products, their parents to be using these products. They will have a happier, healthier life. Their wellness will improve dramatically with these products. So, I just wanted to share that, David. These are my closing thoughts. I'll give you the last word. And when I think about what we can do in these, sometimes when the world feels real dark and there's this pandemic and people tend to be scared and they tend to close in rather than opening up, that's what the world is doing. This is the opportunity to shine, right? It really is. This is the best time ever to become the person that you were meant to become the very best version of yourself. I don't want to sound cliche. I'm really serious when I say this. Every day I work really hard to think about what can I do to improve my personal life, right? And I'm not, I'm many centuries away from perfection, right? I have a lot to work on myself, but I do recognize the opportunity and the importance of being a bright light in a dark world. And I'll say that the very best thing that you can do, all of you can do right now to capitalize on this ship that's moving so quickly, this Activz, this growth, and make an impact on the world, is to do something that the CEO of Apple says. I have this printed out and it's on my wall. It's Tim Cook, and he said you should be the pebble in the pond that creates the ripples that for change. So if you don't feel like you can go move the masses right now or snap your fingers and have $1 million in the bank and be able to retire your parents or your loved ones, well, you know what? Just be that one pebble, because you will create a lot of ripples. You'll touch a lot of lives and you'll make a lot of positive changes in your life and the lives of many other people. So just do that. That's what people are doing today in Activz who are reaching their goals. They're focusing on becoming a little bit better each and every day, doing 10% more each and every day. And with that, we'll see you all in September. David, you've got the final word.
Those are great words of wisdom, Ryan. In fact, I know it's also being picked up by many in Trish Albertson's group and Paige Gimbel and others in the U.S. Who are and the Toths who are saying, yes, we think those basics, that back to basics approach is really what's going to save the day. In fact, it's kind of axiomatic to think that if you want to do something novel, if you want to take a novel approach to success, get back to the basics. And that seems kind of strange, but and really it's not novel, because as someone who says, success leaves clues. And those clues are basic, not extraordinary functions. The extraordinary part of it usually is the determination and the willpower to continue going on, as opposed to some brilliant idea nobody else had. You know, I've always liked August. I don't like the heat of August, but I always look forward to August as a kid because, number one, it was my birthday. Yes, I had a birthday, and I finally turned 35. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
And, I look good for my age. I look old for 35, but I like to think I look good for anything else. But nevertheless, although I've looked 35 since I was 25, so you know, that's the thing about having a bald head early on. But the other thing is, I liked football. Love football season, the approach of football season. And some of you might know, many on this call will have heard of the San Francisco 49ers. And you might remember that they get the name 49ers from the 1849 Gold Rush. Now, my guess is that the number of people who went to California and actually succeeded and were successful in finding gold and making it rich is probably a much, much lower percentage than those who enter network marketing and strike it rich. But there was a gold rush, and thousands, maybe millions of people ended up coming to California in search of making it big. And a lot of them worked really hard. They just weren't successful. But I think the lesson is not so much in what those guys did. It's what a guy named Levi Strauss did. He's like, I'm not going up in the mountains. I'm not going to look for gold. But what I am going to do is, man, those clothes those guys are wearing out fast because it's hard physical work. So I've got an idea. I'm going to make them some denim pants. And I'm going to make them really sturdy by putting rivets in so that those pants stay together. And you know, what he was doing was hard work. It didn't happen. It wasn't an overnight success. He had to continually expand his customer base and go for new people, because once he had some pants on people, now he had to put pants on the next people. There were no shortcuts. It's not like he said, well, this works pretty good, but now I think what I'll start doing is making pants that only have one pant leg as opposed to two pant legs. He had to do the same thing over and over and over again. I'm sure it got boring. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but I don't know that I know the name of any person. And there were some people that got rich in the gold rush, but I don't know. If you ask me who they are, I can't tell you who they are. But everyone knows who Levi Strauss was and what the brand is and the company that came out of the fact that a guy saw a totally different opportunity. He said, I'm going to take advantage of what people want and need in their life. They're all looking for gold, so I'm going to give them something along the way. Well, the story here for us is there are a lot more people who are looking for gold in the form of great health, in terms of an extra $500 a month for their family. There's more people that are part of that rush than are part of the gold rush. And if you can be that person that every single day, like you said, Ryan, methodically says, okay, here are the denim jeans I'm going to give you. They're going to provide the cover. Here are the products. Here's the opportunity. And I'm not going to give this to everyone. Not just one. I'm not going to decide which miner needs this and which miner doesn't need it. Every single miner going after this gold needs my pants. And every single person you meet needs these products, needs this opportunity. And if we treat it like that, starting with us doing the same thing, I think that we'll find that even though it'll take time, that like Levi Strauss, people within our circle say, whoa, they've really created something there. So that's not saying I'm rooting for the 49ers this year, but I'm rooting for all of us to become Levi Strausses.
I'm rooting for the 49ers.
in our time. So have a great month, everybody. We look forward to seeing you all soon. There's wonderful things to report going forward, and in large part, a lot of those wonderful reports are going to come from you. So we can't wait to hear it. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, David. Thanks, everybody. Have a great month.